Have too much junk.
Hello, everyone. My name is Danny, and this is Saturday Stitching, where every day can feel like the weekend when your stitching is going well. As I said, my name is Danny, and my daughter, who apparently doesn't hear that we've already started, is over there talking in the background.
I'm not talking. That was my cat meowing. I said
Maya,
nothing.
with her headscarf that she stole from me.
You gave this to me.
Are you sure I gave that to you? I'm not
It was
having
in my
any
Christmas box.
recollection of this exchange.
It was in my Christmas box because it was blue themed. Remember?
If you say so. Anyway, I'd like to welcome whoever has managed to show up for the live stream, although it says two watching, so I think that's just me and Maya sitting in the chat room.
I
But
think so.
we're pretty much recording this. We're doing the live stream to record for later viewing just because it's easier for us to post, as I tell everybody every week. Um, This is the video where we show off whatever little crafty projects we've been doing, mostly stitching, but I can't guarantee it'll all be stitching because Maya does other stuff. I am going to start today because honestly, I didn't get much done between this weekend and last weekend. I mean, I feel like I did stuff on each of my projects, but it's not enough to be impressive to show. Okay, first up, excuse me. I am so sorry. That gas bubble has been sitting in my throat and it
See,
just
I was
decided.
thinking just a second ago because I'm drinking my fizzy not water and I felt like I was going to burp too. And I was like, I can't burp when she was just trying to hold in this burp and I can't just do this again. But I
It,
was definitely about to.
it just came up, couldn't help it. So sorry, anybody listening. I tried real hard. Anyway, so last week, let's see, this past week since the last video, the author, the blogger at the Unraveled Mitten, who is doing the stash busting Afghan sampler Afghan crochet along. She posted a new square, but I have not started it. I meant to start it on Wednesday because I wanted to have it to show on Saturday, but I was not at home Wednesday, Thursday, and part of Friday, so I did not get to start it. So hopefully I'll have that to show next week. The other things that I did work on this week, I worked on my um, my AKA scarf. It probably doesn't look, I'm dropping stuff, dropping bobbins everywhere. It
Drop.
probably doesn't look like it's much bigger than when I showed it last week.
It looks a little bigger though.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's several rows bigger. It's like 5 rows bigger, but I know that doesn't make much of a difference to anybody else. But I'm right at the part where, see where my ooh, I just realized I did not. I was about to lose some stitches here. I did not clip off this bit like I was telling last week where I put my little stitch markers in there to clip off so that I don't lose stitches.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow I did not do that. And I see this one just sticking out. But as I was saying, the reason I'm not any further, I could have been further along on this because I was going at a good clip and then I got to the point. I'll show you in a second. Put this clip in here. I know this is riveting viewing here. Okay, so I got to the point where I'm supposed to be, because like I said, this is a scarf. So I started, those of you who know corner to corner, I started right here and went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, adding a stitch every row. So now I'm at the part where I'm not supposed to add stitches. I'm supposed to be maintaining so that it's going to start, you'll start getting the flat edge coming up this way. Does that make sense, Maya?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so And I was going at a good clip when I was working on it on Tuesday, and then I got to this point and realized I still had time in my evening stitching session, but I realized I don't know how to do the part that goes like this. So I've only ever, because the few times that I've tried to do corner to corner, I always watch the video to learn how to do this starting point. And then I've tried it. Like, this is my third time trying it, but I never got far enough to where I needed to decrease stitch.
Hmm.
So I don't know how to do this part. So I've watched some videos since then. So hopefully, when I show this piece next week, you will see it going up. But this, as you can see across here, this is going to be the width
Hmm.
of the scarf. And you know how we talked last week about how I don't like scarves that are like real stiff
Yeah.
across the neck. So I'm hoping right now it feels a little what they call drape,
Yeah.
you want stuff to move and not be stiff. And it feels like it might have some drape to it. So hopefully it'll have a little bit more when I wash it. I don't want it to be just a stiff scarf up around her neck like this. Okay, so the only other thing that I worked on this week is my raised waffle Afghan using the spring colors. Remember we talked about last
Yeah.
week?
The one that
And
kind of looked like dusty mountain colors.
yeah, and so this is all I've got done so far.
Well, I like
So
it though.
this is not much bigger there. You can see that much better. This
Yeah.
is not much bigger than what I showed off last week. I've added several rows since last week, but again, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't look that much bigger.
I like that purple though. I think I'd like it with the purple there.
Yeah, I think the purple is really making me happy again about this. I was rushing through the yellow because I really wanted to hurry up and add the purple. That's why I was
Hmm.
working on this today because I've been picking projects to work on while we talk on the video. I was working on this today because I really wanted to hurry up and get to a point where I could add the purple because I still had like another row of yellow to finish. So I'm not really counting. Like you said, I'm kind of going with the flow. When I
Hmm.
feel like there's enough of one color, I'm switching to another color. And your father, as we discussed, I've showed your father the four skeins, and he says, "Is that going to be enough for a blanket?" And I'm like, "Well, if it's not, I'll just add some more colors at the end or whatever." But honestly, I've already got this much, and
Hmm.
I've barely made a dent in
In any of the skeins.
any of the skeins. And this right here, I know you can't see in the camera, but this right here is wide enough to lay across my lap.
Oh, that's good.
It's covering the whole top of my lap. It doesn't have any overflow over the sides yet.
Hmm.
It's already big enough to go over the top of my lap, and it's going from like, the top crease of where my stomach is, and it's draping over my knees.
Okay.
So So I think when I do one more round of each color, it'll already be sizable. And I'm planning to make it big enough to use up all four of those games. So I
Nice.
think just
Yeah.
one more round of each color is going to be enough for it to be like a lap blanket. So
Now,
when I use all
what
four of those skeins, it might, be a decent size.
what are you gonna do if you? Sorry, I'm cutting leather right now. What are you gonna do if you like are working and you get to a sizable point and then you like run out of a color mid round?
Well, I'll probably back up to the end of the row. Like with this purple, for instance. If
Yeah.
I ran out of the purple right here,
Yeah.
okay, then I would just rip out all of this purple and then go with another color.
Okay.
I'm not going to try to start another round, I don't think.
Okay.
I'm just going to rip back to wherever I started this last round. I wouldn't rip out all the purple. Like if I had already gone around 3 times with the purple
You would
and
just
this was
about
like
last
my
little
fourth
bit.
time, yeah, I would just undo this last little bit. I wouldn't undo all three. I would just
Oh,
undo this last little bit and add something else.
I was just
Like
curious.
like I said, I've got plenty of white. And even though this is mostly spring colors, white is my favorite thing to add to stuff because I always think it's going to get dirty.
That's how I feel about anything white. I can't wear white. I can't. It just I don't.
I avoid wearing white too. I like seeing women in like nice, crisp white button down shirts and stuff. But when I think about wearing one, my only thought is that is going to get so dirty.
I'm gonna walk out of the house and be like, where did all this blood come from? What is going on? I just like walk into a murder scene.
I just, it's too much for me. So that's all I have to show, except for one other thing, since this is the crafty section of our video. You already saw this on Instagram, and anybody else who wants to look at it on Instagram can look further. But I'm going to switch screens right now.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, it says we have 3 watching. So we have a lurker. Lurker, holler at us in the chat.
Okay. So let me switch here.
I think I'm gonna ruin these scissors.
Okay, so this, as I said earlier, I was away from home um, Wednesday, Thursday, and part of Friday. As
Woo!
some people, I don't know, some of you who watch may or may not know, but I work from home, but I work with or for, however you want to put it, my best friend who lives about an hour away from me. So I do most of my stuff here, but there is a certain amount of work that needs to be done in person. I have to go pick up some stuff from her office. So once a month I go and we just use that as kind of an excuse. You know, I work one day and then we play one day. I usually go on a weekend, but she has a bunch of stuff that she needs to do the next few weekends. So since we both work from home, it's like, well, we can do it in the middle of the week. It's not that big a deal, especially since I don't have any little children at home that need me. So so she surprised me with a visit to this artist studio that she has been going to a lot over the past few months. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with those. There's places like this in the mall that you can go to where you can paint a mug or do one of those paintings. You know, like they'll have a painting like on this night we're painting this picture of a sunset, and you make an appointment to go and you pay $50 and they give you a glass of wine and a canvas and they walk you through. You know, okay, this is how you paint the sun, and this you how you paint this, and this is how you paint that. I've never done one of those. My daughter has done the one where you paint the mugs. I've never done any of those, but this is a similar concept, except this is not like some chain in a mall or a strip mall or something. This is like an individual artist who actually does various types of artwork.
Ooh, time out for
And
2 seconds. In the
yes,
chat, it's Tracy. Tracy's here. She said she just got on.
well, hello, Tracy. Glad you could join us.
Hi, Tracy. Continue.
so so she surprised me. She's been wanting to take me to this place, but she didn't tell me she wanted to take me to this place. Apparently we went to some sort of street fair or something, and I had stopped at some vendor who was selling yarn bowls, and um, my best friend who loves pottery was looking at this yarn bowl, you know, with the little curve and stuff in it. And she was like, "What the heck is this for?" And I was explaining to her, you know, it's a yarn bowl, blah, blah, blah. You do this and this and this with it, you know. I said, I don't own one, but I've, you know, seen people have them. And so she decided to bring me to this place as a late birthday gift to paint my own
Oh,
yarn bowl. Yes, it was a very sweet gesture. Unfortunately, I don't have an ounce of creativity.
I
You
think it looks good.
you know me, I follow patterns. I always follow patterns. So if you present me with a completely white blank bowl and say, "There's the wall of colors," As you can see back here, those are the walls with all the
Oh
paintballs.
man.
There's the wall of colors. Pick some colors and have at it. I'm like, and she kind of like, she's like, there's a sink to rinse out your brushes. Here's the little cups to put your paint in. Here's the can of paint brushes. Have at it. And I'm like, I expected step by step. First, you need to do this. Then you need to do that. You know.
Hmm.
So Terry's like, "Why are you sitting there?" I'm like, "Well, she hasn't told me to start yet." I'm like, because that's really what I thought, like it was a class or something. But no.
Hmm.
So so anyway, I'm rambling. Um, Luckily she had some, because I really was, I mean, I wanted to show that I was appreciative of this gift. I wanted Terry to feel like I was excited and having fun, but really honestly, I don't know how to do things without a pattern. If you had given me something to copy, that's one thing, but I can't do things, and I can't draw freehand. I can't draw at all. So I have no artistic talent whatsoever. Apparently my kids got that from thin air, because I
See,
don't.
you say that, but I feel like you do. You're just afraid to try.
Whatever, mother. So luckily, this artist is somebody who participates in um this charity event in Asheville where they raise money for Second Harvest Food Bank, and it's like a dinner. And I don't know who actually paints all these bowls. There's not the bowls like what I had, but there's these other bowls, and she had like 400 bowls that she was firing in her kiln that had been painted by these. I don't know if they're painted by children or whoever. They were painted by some group in Asheville, and they sent them to her to fire them. And so she already had some of the first ones that she glazed and fired sitting on the table. So there was one there that I was really attracted to the colors of it. So it
Hmm.
gave me the idea of which colors. I know I didn't pick the exact colors that were on that bowl, but at least gave me an idea of what colors I wanted to put together.
Yeah. Ooh, time out. One more moment. Let's see. Tracy says that she saw that on Instagram and she likes the yarn bowl. And then she said hello to us because we were saying hi to her. And then we have Dee Thompson in the chat and she says hi as well. Hello.
Hello, D. I don't think D has been in our. Oh, I'm clicking the wrong thing. I
I think
think
we've seen Dee before.
has D been in our chat room before?
I believe so. It may have been a few weeks back.
Okay. So basically, I painted a bowl. That was a long-winded way to say I painted a bowl.
I
And
like it. I think it looks cute.
Terry didn't really get a picture. I didn't realize till, because she didn't. I didn't see the pictures she was taking. I didn't take these pictures. I didn't see, of course, because you can see. I didn't see the pictures that she took until after we were away from the studio. So I didn't realize that she didn't really get a good picture of like the front of the bowl.
So did you do that lettering inside the bowl as well?
Yeah, I did that.
Oh, that's really good lettering.
Oh no, it's really not.
Oh, it looks good to me. Anytime I do, like, I always try to avoid doing lettering on people when I'm doing henna because I'm like, feeling kind of iffy.
Well, to be fair, even though I have sucky handwriting, I did teach you and the kids italics for a couple of years to try to improve all of our handwriting. So
Yeah,
I picked up some of that. And I did flirt with doing calligraphy many years ago when I was like 18 or 19.
yeah.
I flirted with getting back into that actually because I enjoyed doing that. But it was one of those things where I didn't have a practical use for it. When I do a crafty thing, it needs to have a use. I don't
Hmm.
make things to just look pretty.
Yeah.
If I'm going to knit something, I'm going to knit a sweater or something like that. I'm not just going to knit something that's going to look pretty. When I was gardening, I didn't grow flowers just for the front yard. I grew vegetables because if I'm gonna put in all that work, I want to eat something.
Yeah.
I just don't make things just to be pretty, you know. Although I am thinking of doing some art for the walls in our house because we do have a lot of kind of empty walls. And
Ooh, please have a live video of you doing an acrylic pour.
oh,
I
what?
need it in my life. An acrylic pour. Have you not seen those videos that have suddenly gone viral once I discovered what they are?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna feel like a little bit of a hipster, but an acrylic pour, I discovered this and I'm like, oh, this feels like a fun thing. And then all of a sudden it just kind of blew up on YouTube and now everybody's doing acrylic pours. But it's this thing where you take, oh, D Thompson says she's been here once. I knew it, I called it. But so acrylic pours are you take acrylic paint and you can buy the cheap acrylic paint. It will work with that too. But you take acrylic paint and you'll get this cup and there's like an acrylic fluid that like or there's a flow fluid or something that you need to mix into it so that it flows properly and works properly. But you stop okay. Your screen is showing me to myself. Please put your face back on the screen. Anyway, it's really
What?
disconcerting.
You don't want to see yourself?
It's really disconcerting seeing myself and then myself again. But anyway, so you mix the acrylic paint with the weird flow fluid, and then you'll pour like a red, and you'll pour a blue, and then a yellow, and then another red, and then a blue, and maybe a white or whatever, and you pour it all in one cup. And then there's which is a clean pour which you'll have each color in its own cup and you'll pour each color individually. And then there's a dirty pour where you put all the colors into one cup, like one at a time. You'll pour them all in one cup and then you pour it out onto the canvas. And so all the colors in the order that you put them in will all kind of like run out onto the canvas. And then you like pick up the canvas and you like tilt it so it gets to all the edges. And so it'll pour off and it'll like make shapes and stuff. And then depending on what like fluid that you put in it, because there are different types of like acrylic fluid or whatever, depending on what fluid you put in it, then it can like, as you let it sit, it'll like kind of bubble a little bit and form like cells of color and stuff. It's so you need to look it up. I feel like you would find acrylic pour videos like relaxing and I feel like you'd like them.
I just added it. I just added it to my list of things
Good.
because I
You should
take
watch it. I
notes
think you would like them.
while we're talking. As you probably have heard before, Tracy and D, Maya and I don't talk during the week. And we just, as a matter of fact, we hadn't talked since
The
our
last
family
video.
our family vacation in
Yeah.
September. We hadn't talked since our family vacation in September because I'm just not one of those mothers who tries to get all up in her kids' business. So we don't really, if she needs to talk to me, she knows she can talk to me. I'm not trying like call your mother. Why haven't you called your mother
Why haven't you
lately?
told me? It's been weeks, darling. What are you doing?
Exactly. We're not those. We're not. We have a good relationship, but it's probably because I stay out of her business. So, but we since we started doing these videos, we this is where we talk to each other basically. Okay, I just lost everybody.
What?
Okay, okay, thank you. My screen just decided I don't need to see any of y'all. Okay, D.
D.
Thompson says
Thompson.
she's exactly the same
Yep.
with her grown daughters. So see, it's not just me. It's not just me.
Not
Okay.
gonna lie, I kind of thought you were just weird as a mom. Not that I thought it was bad, just like all the other moms that I hear about are like, oh yeah, and I visited my daughter, or like my friends, and they're like, oh yeah, my mom came up here to visit me and did this and that, and she's doing this, and she told me that I need to do that, and I'm like, what?
Well,
What?
see, I've always thought it was weird that if you are over 21 and you and your mother are still up in each other's business, then that's just strange. I mean, that's just strange, I think. But since this is the only time we talk to each other during the week, you may hear us talk about
Life stuff.
not private stuff, but we're kind of having a conversation while we're showing our crafty stuff because this is the only time we've talked to each other all week. So when she mentions stuff in these videos, I do take notes to look the stuff up later. So I have noted about the acrylic pour. I will take a look at
Good.
that. And if that looks like something fun, because I have a list of fun things to do with your Aunt Terry, and we're working
Ooh,
our
but
way.
with Aunt Terry on a live stream so that we can all see you do this acrylic pour, please.
Oh yeah, Aunt Terry ain't doing a live stream.
It's a
She
popular
might
video now.
she
You
might
need to
hold
do
the
it.
camera. that's about it.
Close
She
enough.
wa-
We need to mic her up so we can hear her.
yeah, whatever. So that is everything that I got done. Oh, one more thing. Before you start showing your stuff, you were working on oh, we'll do Ravelry Corner later. You show your stuff
Yeah.
first.
Okay. So what I'm working
Switch the
on.
screen.
Oh, go ahead. You're good. I'm just talking. So what I'm working on right this very second is when I can't remember if I mentioned this before or not, but I like overhaul spring cleaned my room with my sister Chloe. And I found a bunch of craft stuff that I forgot that I even had. And so I found a bunch of leather scraps because the lady down the road from me who owns the Forest Fair, my local shop that I go sit and craft at, she has these big totes. And mommy, you'll remember like the big plastic totes that we use whenever we're going off to college and stuff. Those things.
Yes. Yes, I've
Okay.
got them right beside me in the
Yeah.
office I'm sitting in.
She's got like 6 or 7 of those just full of leather scraps sitting at her store that she will like, and they're pretty sizable. Like this one was bigger and I just cut it up. But she's got some pretty sizable leather totes full of like different kinds of leather scraps, like thick, thin, different colors and stuff. And you can go and you can buy like a pound for like so many dollars or whatever. And so I was like, I've never worked with leather before. Let me just pick up some leather scraps and see what's going on. So I've got some leather scraps beside me right now, and I'm cutting them into these little shapes because I recently read that you can dye leather with henna. So I'm going to see how that works out because it is technically skin.
Yes.
So so I'm thinking I'm going to do some henna designs on this, and then I'm cutting these shapes specifically because I'm thinking that I can glue them to some hair barrettes, and that way people can like pin them in their hair like this. What do you think?
Yeah,
I think it looks cute.
I made hair barrettes. That's so funny that you mentioned that. I made hair barrettes before you were born,
Really.
like 5 years before you were born, when I first got into my crafty biz bits. I'm sure I told you this story before. There used to be a show that was on Saturday mornings called Aileen's Crafts. It
I don't
was
remember this at
sponsored.
all.
It was
Aileen? Are you sure it's not Eileen?
no, it's Aileen, Aleene.
Who named
Aileen's
this
Crafts.
child?
Aileen. Okay, D. Thompson says she's seen the acrylic pour lately. Saw the results actually instead of the doing. But the big wave created was really cool looking.
Yeah, they
I'll
make like
definitely.
wavy effects, and you should once we look it up, we'll definitely we'll get if you join us on the live stream next Saturday, she will watch it and get back to us on what she thinks of the acrylic pour because I want to know what you think too.
I will definitely watch it. So the no, Aileen's this was like back late like 89, 90. She had a TV show locally here, and I know in different parts of the country it was like a syndicated thing. And it was on TV on Saturday mornings. She I didn't fully realize this when I was first watching this because this was before people were on the internet heavily. But
Mm-hmm.
Aileen owned this company with all these different products. So it was almost like an infomercial, but not really because it was on regular TV and
Mm-hmm.
a regular 30-minute show. And they always did different projects and stuff. So it didn't really have the feel of an infomercial. But looking back on it, I realized she all the projects
Sold all the products.
yeah, all the projects that they were showing you how to do used at least one of her products.
Mm-hmm.
And her company mainly made adhesive type products, special kind of like fabric glues and fabric paints and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I got heavily I used to watch the show every Saturday, and that was when I first really got into crafting type stuff, not knitting, because I learned to knit and crochet and cross stitch when I was young. Well, I learned knit and
Mm-hmm.
crochet when I was like 10. I picked up cross stitch roughly, 1920, somewhere around there. But I didn't really get into craft until the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
until the late 80s. And like painting neat.
Oh, you
Painting
keep talking. You left the screen on me, so I'm showing off the shapes that I have.
yes, I know. painting was like using puff paints to paint on t-shirts. I did that a couple times, and that's what led to me sticking with knitting and crocheting, because I tried all these different things and I kept buying all these paints and glues and stuff, and then I'd move on to the next thing, because every project they would say, okay, you need to, for this project you need to use this kind of glue. So the glue that you bought last week for that project won't work for this project. So now you go
Ooh.
out and buy a different glue or a different paint. And I had all these paints and stuff. And I usually would do just one project. So
Mhm.
I do one t-shirt with puff paint. I do one this or one that. And I had all this stuff drying up in the back room.
Yeah.
And then when I finally, and around that same time, um, the they came back out with the ultimate sweater machine. I know you've seen that sitting in my closet.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
I know exactly
yes.
what you're talking about.
They were selling that on QVC, and your father bought me one, and I got back into that, and that was around the time, that was a little bit before, a little bit after you were born. And I also, because around the same time he bought me that, I also tried to. It was before you were born, because I tried to crochet a sweater and tried to get it done before you were born, so that you could have a little baby sweater. And you ended up with a little baby vest, because all I got was the sweater part, and I never made the sleeves before
But I
you
was
got
so cool.
so so. But I went off on a tangent. Sorry, y'all. But you making those shapes and talking about hair barrettes reminded me, during that Aileen's period, I
Mhm.
made I cut out shapes out of cereal boxes and took old postage stamps that I had ripped off of
Like letters and stuff.
letters and stuff. Not just the regular ones, but sometimes you'll get pretty ones that got birds
Mhm.
and stuff. And I put them on the oval shape like you just showed. I put them
Yeah.
like overlapped them all on the oval shape, and then put Mod Podge over them, and then took the oval shape and glued it onto a hair
Oh,
braiding that
snap.
I got from Michaels, and I
Full
wear that
circle.
in my hair. I also took some really pretty postage stamps and put and Mod Podged over them. I think I might have outlined something with puff paint on them, but I definitely Mod Podged over them and put earring backs on them and,
And make little stud earrings. Oh, that's so cute.
and postage stamp earrings.
Oh, I need to
Oh, they
do
were
that.
so tacky.
Oh, guess what I'm definitely gonna do as soon as I get some mail with some good stamps on them.
They were so
Oh
tacky.
my gosh, I've got to do it. Full
They were so
circle do it.
tacky.
It's
But
generational.
that's what those ovals made me think of. So okay, I've taken this off track too much. Go ahead and show me what else you did.
You're good. I'll let you guys know how these turn out once I get done. So, remember how last week I said that I forgot to order my crochet hooks, everyone? Everyone? Yes, everyone remembers me
Yeah.
being responsible. Guess what I did? Ordered my crochet hooks. So I got my crochet hooks in the mail. They came in this package, which is, I mean, it's really good for keeping them all there. And there was a lot more. I don't think I actually looked, because she looked up the listing for the crochet hooks for me. I was just like, oh, this looks good. And so I just straight up ordered it. Didn't even, I trusted you with whole heart. And so I ordered them, and it came with a lot more crochet hooks than I thought it was going to. I'm going to go ahead and take them out. They came like double bagged. So this bag has a little Ziploc-y. And then, oh, can't open, can't, childproof. Okay. And then it came in another little Ziploc baggie. If you can see that, it's
Yep.
Ziploc locked again. So I'm like, okay, double protection. I dig you. I got it. But
Well,
it came
both
with,
yours didn't come in a case like mine.
yeah, but I'm not super upset, because it's still like, this is a good enough case. And I was looking at patterns on Ravelry. We can look in Ravelry Corner if I saved any of them. I hope I saved one or two of them. But I was looking at patterns to make a crochet hook case. And
That
I
is
found a
true.
couple
You can make
that
a
I
case.
like. But it came with, I think, let's see, the biggest one in here is, I believe it's, oh no, it's this one. This Big Bubba 10 millimeter crochet hook, which I don't think I've ever worked with a crochet hook this big before. It's so
That is
chunky.
that is pretty chunky.
And then the
I think
smallest
I think
one,
that might be a K.
is
Let
that a
me see.
K? I don't think I've ever worked with a K.
Let me see.
And while you're looking that up, the
No, a
smallest
K
one,
is only 6.5 millimeters.
ooh, so this is off the chart.
That might be like a P or something like that. I know they make them like M's and P's, and I
Yeah.
don't have any that big.
It's super chunky though. And then I've got this, the smallest one that I got, which is the reason that I got it, is the 2 millimeter. If you can you even see that there is a hook on the end of that?
That is teeny tiny.
It is so small. But I was telling her that I hate working with it because, and I didn't explain why, so I'm explaining why now. I hate working with it because I feel like I'm going to bend and snap it every time that I yarn over and pull through. And I'm like, it feels like it's just going to break and disintegrate into dust. It feels so flimsy. It's like, I know that it's not. Like, I'm bending it a little bit right now. It's like, it's aluminum and like solid aluminum. It feels like it's okay. I know it's sturdy enough, but I'm like, I feel it flexing every time I
Yeah,
get over, and I
yeah,
don't appreciate it.
yeah. I have some tiny hooks, and I don't. I don't think I've ever used them. They came in one of the kits that I bought, and so they're in
Mhm.
there, but I don't use them. Let's see. Okay. So according to US crochet hook sizes,
Mhm.
2.25 millimeter is a B. So if you've got a 2 millimeter, that's definitely off the US charts because that's
Is there not
tiny.
an A hook?
No, there's not an A hook. It starts with B. I don't know why they start weird like that. Because the first
Do
size is
do
B.
they know the alphabet though? Do they not know that they're just like, okay, everybody sing your alphabet. B C D E F G. Like,
Well, the US chart starts with B, which is 2.25 millimeter, and then you got B C D E F G, and then there's 4.5 millimeter, which is just 7. It's not, and then they go to H, which is 8. They just call it 7.
okay,
They just put a letter in it. I don't know why.
okay,
Then
all
the
right.
10 millimeter. Okay, this thing is telling me that 10 millimeter is. Oh no, I'm looking at that wrong. Never mind. 10 millimeter is an N or a P, depending on how you look at it. Because on the
I'm
card,
gonna look at it like a P.
it's saying that the 9 is an M or an N, whichever one you decide you want to say.
Why are these things not universal?
I don't know because the 8 millimeter is an L. They give it a letter and a number. It's an L dash 11. Then the 9 millimeter, which is the next size up, is MN slash 13. So there's no 12 at all.
No wonder everybody else just goes by the millimeters. This is
Exactly.
confusing.
The US
This
chart
is
is
Americans making things confusing again.
US chart is confusing. Because if you just look at the millimeter sizes, it just goes, yeah, the millimeter sizes make more sense. Because
Ooh, Tracy Davis says Michaels has a 60% off coupon for today only. Oh, snap. I need to use that.
since when have you been to Michael's?
I haven't been to Michael's recently, but I'm sure I could find something for 60% off.
I'm sure you could too.
But the reason that I got those crochet hooks is because I finished at least one thing that was on my to-do list for last week, which is barefoot sandals. Ooh, look at that. Barefoot sandals.
Those look much better using the smaller hook.
Yes, but because I didn't anticipate, like I knew that using the smaller hook, they would be a bit smaller, but They are so much smaller. Like I with the other one that I made using the smallest hook that I had before, they were yes, they were loose and kind of messy looking, but they were big enough for my foot. Today, I put this on a 3-year old and it fit her foot. Yes.
So,
They're
well, I
3-year
guess
old kids running a farmer's market and they fit their feet perfectly.
so. Really, all you need to do though is make the loop bigger. The part that's around your middle finger, is that the
Yes.
part that doesn't fit you?
No, it's not that because this the part around my middle finger that would probably fit my finger. Ooh, Tracy Davis says, "Cute. What is it?" So it's a barefoot sandal. So pretend that my hand is a foot. This would be your middle toe here, and it would go across your foot. So you would still be barefoot walking on the ground like this. So if you're walking around the beach or the pool or whatever, and then these tie around your ankles, and they wrap all the way up your leg and stuff like that. So they're for super cute fairy wear, which is a word that I'm coining now. Fairy wear. It's what I make now. Fairy wear.
Hippie wear.
No, but fairy wear. But
Fairy wear. Okay,
let's
whatever.
see. Oh, Dee Thompson said pretty. Thank you, Dee. And she said, "Oh, gotta go. Enjoy your evening and weekend. Thank you, Dee. We'll be back next Saturday around 4:30 if you want to jump in with us again." But
Bye,
barefoot
Dee.
sandal. So the loop itself would probably still fit my toe. The maybe I would need to make it a couple chains bigger. The problem is that this part now looks really small on my foot. Do you see? Do you get what I mean?
I get what you're saying, but it looks the right size on your hand. How big is your foot?
The same size as your 10 foot.
You do not wear size 10.
Yes, I do. We have the same size feet.
No, we don't. And I don't wear a 10 anymore. I wear an 11.
Okay, well, I wear 9.5, 10, so it's slightly smaller than your size 11 foot.
Whatever.
Ooh, Tracy Davis says one of the ladies in her group made the barefoot sandal before. Did she have the same? What did she use? Worsted weighted yarn, Tracy, or did she use like the? Because I'm using crochet thread right now, which is really good for children's sizes. So I'm going to make several more of these because I'm going to an event later. We'll talk about this later in the upcoming events corner, I guess. But going to an event later where there's going to be a lot of kids, and so I'm going to make a lot of children's sizes of these, and they'll. So I hope they'll do well. But I want to be able to make them so that I can wear them too because I like looking like a fairy creature too. And this is not going to cut it. It looks really like I. You flip the screen to you. We're going to do some awkward shifting. I'm going to show you my feet.
All right, I'll switch the screen to me while she's putting things on her feet.
Yep.
Okay,
Tracy says,
Tracy. I Yeah, so we're both
yeah,
checking the chat room. You take care of your feet.
you're
Tracy
good.
said she thinks her friend used worsted weight yarn.
See, I found a couple patterns using worsted weight, which were like they were chunkier, but they were some that meant to be chunky. Like there are some that use what is it, crocodile stitch, so they look like dragon scales
Scales.
and
I've
stuff like
seen
that.
those before. I've seen those before.
So I'm gonna make a couple like that because I like that style. But I want to have the lacy ethereal style, but big enough for my apparently giant foot.
Well, maybe, I mean, I'm assuming that you worked that triangle in the round. So maybe you need to just do a few extra rounds to make it bigger for your foot.
Yeah, I guess I could wing it. Um, okay, here we
I know
go.
winging
Destroy.
it, I know winging it does not feel comfortable. It
No,
doesn't feel comfortable to me either, but
let's see if I got. Okay, go ahead and flip the camera back to me. So I'm showing my tootsie. Ignore how ugly my feet look. I walk around a lot and they're dry.
I don't think that looks too small on your foot.
No, it feels. See, but I would want it. You see how it stops here? I would want it to stop up here. I would want
Okay.
it to spread and cover my foot a bit more because on the little girl's foot, it covered her. It covered this whole space of her foot, and that's how I want it to look. But it doesn't. Maybe if I tilt the camera a little bit more, but it doesn't. It doesn't look that way on my foot. It just looks really small, and I don't like it.
Well, yeah, I think if you do a few more rounds, maybe that'll give you the coverage that you want.
Maybe, but it's already taking.
Do the circle part a little bit bigger before you start doing those triangle sides.
Okay. I might try that and see if I can figure something out. But it's already taking like a long time to finish these. Like it took me, I want to say it took me like an hour, maybe an hour and a half to finish this one. And that was with me talking. So I'm like I might be able to cut it down. And I've memorized the pattern at this point for the most part. So it's not so I can work it a bit faster, but it's I want to be able to bust them out real quick so I can have a lot of them and it's
Of course,
taking longer than expected.
of course. I know that you're doing stuff when you have a market stall or what have you. You want to be able to churn out products quickly because
Yes.
it's not worth your money if it takes you forever to make the thing. That's one reason why I am not a a Etsy type seller or anything like that because I know I am not going to turn out product fast enough to sell.
I've got like some of my stuff is fast enough. Like some of my earrings are super simple, and so I can just whip them up and get them done. But like I want to have some different things. I want to have some bigger things and some like there are different things that I want to make to be able to sell. But it's like they take so long, and like in the amount of time that it takes for them, I'm like I don't know if anyone's gonna want to pick up a like $20 pair of barefoot sandals.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I meant when I said whether it's worth the money. Because at some
Yeah.
point, you put so much time into something, it's not worth selling it for $5.
Yeah, no, these would definitely not be $5. But I've got a couple other things. Um, so in my ordering of things from Amazon, I made a new friend.
I need a head.
Well,
I don't
she
have anywhere to sit one, but I need one.
she was like $10 on Amazon.
Yeah,
So
I know they're not expensive. I just haven't indulged in getting one because I don't really have anywhere to sit one.
I just don't. We'll decide here on the live stream. So, Tracy and anybody watching this video later on, comment on the video. After the stream is over, it'll let you comment on the video. Comment on the video and help me decide what to name her. And that is what I will call her for the rest of forever. We'll figure it out. She has a nice red wig. If you see my Instagram, she's got a cute red wig that she wears.
Uh-huh.
But so I got a wig head.
I missed the red wig on Instagram. I'll have to take a look at that.
Yeah, I just posted it today with my market post.
Oh,
But I got
that's why I
the
haven't seen
wig
it.
head to show off my scrunchies. So what I did was I got the wig head and I put the red wig on and I put the scrunchies on the she had her hair in pigtails from last way I wore it. And so I put the scrunchies on the pigtails so that people could see the scrunchies.
Oh,
And then
that's
I
cute.
also used it to show off. Oh, I've got a tangled mess here. I made more circlets. I've
Cute.
got ribbon stuck there, but that one has a bit of amethyst on it,
Mm-hmm.
and it just let's see if I can undo. Oh, see, I don't. Me personally, I know how my hair is, and so I don't like ribbons. But a lot of other people suggested the ribbons, and like they like the ribbons, and I
Uh-huh.
understand. I understand wanting to have the ribbons because when I have my hair in a scarf, I can definitely tie it back with the ribbons. But my hair is an absolute wreck, and so trying to wear a circlet with the ribbons is
And
a pain in the
also,
butt.
you know, let's keep it 100. You're up there in Asheville, and there's a lot more white people than black people up there. So people with that straight Caucasian hair can do with the ribbons and stuff. Our
Yes,
hair, we're just
the,
gonna get ribbons tangled in our natural texture. So
exactly.
can see why you don't want full with ribbons. I wouldn't want full with ribbons necessarily either. But I like that. That looks nice.
So there's that one, the amethyst, which is supposed to be good for. Oh no, I've totally forgotten now. Not gonna just straight up lie to people. I
Well,
knew at one point.
amethyst is also the birthstone of people born in February.
I knew that. Not
You
gonna forget
should.
my birthstone. But it's good. It's supposed to be good for good energies and something. Oh, I'll never remember.
Good for some hippy dippy use, is what you're trying to tell
Yes,
me.
I was looking up stuff the other day because I was like, well, if I'm going to be selling these crystals with things, I should know what they're supposed to be for. But I just can't remember. I'm planning on trying to take a sketchbook and drawing out each crystal and then writing like a description beside it. That way I'll have a little book to keep track of what all these things are supposed to do. But
Mm-hmm.
in the meantime, I'm just going to be guessing and probably lying to people. Not lying on purpose, but hopefully telling the truth.
So yeah, you probably if you really want to tell people about them, you probably should learn that.
Yeah. But, and then I've got this one. And
That's nice.
this one has just a regular clear crystal quartz on it. And it also has the ribbons, which is why I'm holding it up. But it's super cute. Let me move my face. Maybe it'll focus. Focus on the crystal. Focus on the crystal. Maybe not. Oh well. But it's got the little loopies there. I didn't like it at first. I did the braid with the wire, and I liked the braid with the wire because it's got this pattern of like two grouped together and then a single, and then two grouped together and a single. So I liked the braid pattern. And then I was like, I think I could do some loops here. And I was sitting down at the forest fair with my friend Cree. I was sitting down at the forest fair and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this because once I do it, there's not really any turning back. Because like once you bend up the wire, it's like darn near impossible to straighten it back out again. So I was like,
Uh-huh.
should I? She's like, just go for it. And so I did it and I was like, I kind of hate it. I kind of really hate it. And then, but I was like, well, let me keep going. And so I was originally going to put a different crystal on it, but I was like, I really, really, really like the other crystal. It's an opal. And so I decided to put the quartz on it because I like the quartz, but it's like, it's a simpler, like more common crystal. And so I was like, well, let me put the quartz on this and save the opal for something else. And so I put the quartz on it. I was like, now that the stone's there, and I tried it. She has a mannequin head at her store too. And so I put it on a mannequin head so I could see it a bit better. And I'm like, now that the stone is there, I'm not that mad at it. I like it a little bit better. But when I first did it, I was just like, I straight up hate it. I do not like it at all. But I think that is all I've got. The only other thing that I've sort of got is I have this it's gonna look like a big old mess of wires. But I've got it's a heart made out of dragon's vein quartz, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Dragon's Vein something. I think it's Dragon's Vein quartz or Dragon's Vein agate, maybe. But it's a heart shaped pendant that you can't really see under these wires. But I'm doing a tree of life over it. So I've got the roots started and the trunk of the tree is sort of started. And so I'm going to do a tree of life branching out over it, and it'll be a pendant
Okay,
over.
that's cool.
So it's fun. It's just, as you can see from this mess of wires, really finicky and frustrating, which is why I haven't picked it up again since I started it.
Well, I can definitely understand that. I have a lot of finicky whips that are sitting under my bed and beside my bed that I just haven't gotten back to because I never feel like I have enough time in the evening when I sit down to crochet to do with the
Same.
real tricky ones. So I
Let's
keep
see.
picking up easy ones like what I'm working on now.
Oh yeah, I've had to like make myself stop from picking up another scrunchie. I still have not sold a single scrunchie, and yet I keep trying to pick them up, and it's just not happening. But let's see. Tracy says, "Is your piercing called a nose ring?" I know someone who has the same piercing, and she says, "Very pretty." I don't know if you're talking about my nose ring or my projects, but either way, thank you very much. But this is a septum ring, so it is technically a nose ring because it's a nose like piercing, but more commonly when people think of nose rings they think of the nostril piercings, and this is the septum piercing that goes through the middle and looks like the bull. It's my favorite. It's my favorite one that I've had because I've had my septum done. I've had this is probably a talk for the later conversation, but so I'll like speed it up real quick. But I've had my septum done. I've had my tongue. I've had both of these done twice. I've had a snake bite, so I had my lip pierced on both sides here once. I've had my cartilage pierced twice. I've had my lobes, each lobe pierced twice, and then I've had this one pierced again, which is my current piercing that I have because this one forms keloid, so I just can't have earrings in it. So I have one ear hole pierced, one nose piercing, one tongue piercing, and that is where I'm going to stay for right now. I would like to get my eyebrow pierced, but one, I don't want to end up with some scary shenanigans on my face because I don't know if I'm going to get a keloid on my face, and I don't want to risk that. So no eyebrow piercing. Also, the fast food restaurant that I work at would smack the eyebrow ring right off me. They'd be like, "No, what are you doing?"
All right, so we have showed off our projects. So, following the structure that we've had for the last 2 weeks, we have Ravelry Corner and we have what we're going to work on for the upcoming week.
Right
So,
corner.
do you have anything you want to show for Ravelry Corner?
Um, I am gonna bring up my Ravelry while we're here on the computer and see if I can find it. You bring up your Ravelry stuff, and then because there were a couple things that I found that I liked, but I don't think I put it in any kind of bundles. So, it'll be a big mess of trying to find stuff.
Well, my Ravelry Corner, I don't know if it is necessarily on Ravelry.
Hmm.
Let's see. Oh, Tracy says that she has two cousins with tongue rings. And she said that your work is pretty.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the circlets they look fairly complicated. I've had a bunch of people say like, "Oh, that looks so like intricate and fancy." And I'm like, "It's real simple." Like that's what I really like about them. They're real quick and easy to work up. And it's the biggest thing about the ones that I just showed you is trying to figure out how to wrap that stone on there because that was a pain in the butt because they're really fiddly until you get it kind of locked in and then you can like do more decorative stuff with it. But like trying to get that stone locked in there so it doesn't wiggle and fall out is a pain in the butt. Logging into Ravelry on my
Okay,
computer.
Ravelry Corner is, I don't know if it's necessarily a Ravelry Corner because I don't know if this is actually on Ravelry. I got it in my email. It is on Ravelry. Okay, that's cool. So I'm going to. Sometimes when Red Heart puts out a pattern, I don't always have the best of luck finding it on Ravelry because it's not always named the same thing on Ravelry as it is that whatever Red Heart named it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have trouble finding it, but this one luckily was named the same thing that Red Heart named it. So I'm going to turn my screen around.
Yep.
And this made me think of you actually because this is what I got in. I subscribe to Red Heart's emails, so I get emails from Red Heart like maybe 2 or 3 times a week,
Oh,
and
they're
they
so cute.
apparently scrunchies are officially back
I keep trying to tell people.
because I'm starting to see more and more. But these I thought were cute because they don't have the picture on here of somebody actually wearing them.
I
See,
think they would be like that one scrunchie that I made though with the top down or whatever. Or with the top like you know what I mean, with stuff on the top but not on the bottom.
yeah, I don't know if I saved the email. I'm checking to see.
You're bringing up your email on screen.
No, I'm not. That's why I threw you back up there.
Oh,
Um,
I did not realize that you were doing that. Thanks.
I'm trying to see if they if that email if I deleted the email or not.
Well, while you're doing that, I am going to be making a quick bundle of things to show. Most of them are probably going to be barefoot sandals, but Um, well, how do
Okay.
I? Oh, I've never done this on the computer.
Well, how do you usually do it?
On my phone. I do everything on my phone.
Oh, that's right. That's how you modern kids are.
That's how us modern kids with broke computers are. You've seen my computer. You know what you
Your
had my computer
your
like
your brother
6 years ago.
brother has a state of the art laptop that he bought himself, which is better than mine, and he does his taxes on his phone.
But do they have a TurboTax app on the computer though?
Yeah, they
'Cause that
do.
TurboTax app is then I don't know what he's doing.
Your sister does hers on the phone too.
Um,
She did all her college application stuff on her phone. I'm like, what is wrong with you people?
I can't speak for them because I'm in the process of trying to save up a couple $100 to get a Chromebook so I can use an actual computer because I like using an actual computer. I just
I
mine
do too.
doesn't work the way it needs to.
I think it's just me being an old lady. I like to use an actual computer myself. Let's see if this is gonna.
All right. So I'm adding the tag Ravel hashtag Ravel Recorder to things that I want you to see. Will you be able to see my tags if you bring them up?
I don't know. I
Hmm.
don't know.
Well, we will find out.
I'm about to switch the screen back around. This is the email that I got. I don't know why they don't have this picture in the um
Oh,
in the
it's
pattern.
cute though.
Let's see. Yeah, the scrunchie looks kind of like a ribbon tied in somebody's
Yeah.
hair or a headscarf tied in somebody's hair. It looks
Do they?
cuter in her hair than it does laying in the pattern. That's why I don't understand why they include this picture in the pattern.
But do they have? Does she have like another hair tie under there, and then the scrunchie just pulled over top? Because
No.
it doesn't look like she's doubled it up to like actually tie her hair back.
Well, maybe she's got thick hair or she's using a real small scrunchie. Because
Maybe.
some people don't like double their scrunchies like we do.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess we use scrunchies as just like an actual hair tie, and some people just use it as an accessory.
Mhm. It
But
could be that she
I don't.
just has thick hair and doesn't double hers.
Maybe I was when I was at market today. Were a couple of the market kids. There are these two twin girls. They're adorable. They're these two little redhead girls, and their names are Dahlia and Tilia, and they're so cute. And they were pointing at my scrunchies. They're like hair. They were like pointing at the wig, and they're like hair and ponytail, ponytail. And I was like, oh, you want me to pull your hair back and ponytail? So I pulled their hair back with my big puppy scrunchie. I pulled their hair back into these two cute little high ponytails. They look so adorable. I've got some pictures. I need to send them to you so that you can see them or show them up on the screen too, because they are so adorable. I think I'd be able to if I send them to you, would you be able to bring them up on screen? Maybe put it maybe in a Facebook message or something?
Yeah, if you put them in a Facebook message, I could probably save them to my computer. But
Would you could
why don't we
probably just
save why don't we
bring them
save
up.
that for next week? Because we're
Okay,
already
yeah.
at 52 minutes, so we'll save that for next week. I would
Okay.
just, but that's the only thing I had for Ravelry Corner because I haven't really been looking at patterns because I'm trying to stop looking at patterns.
Ooh, I fell into a Ravelry hole. I really did.
I'm trying to stop looking at patterns because, as I mentioned, I'm part of that group that is, Stitch Your Library. And
Hmm.
I'm trying to stop adding a bunch of patterns, just like I'm trying to stop adding books. We talked about this last week. Stop adding books to my to be read list. Stop adding patterns to my to be stitched list because I already have so many patterns that I won't get those stitched in my lifetime.
See, I did the exact opposite. I just went like pattern window shopping. I was like, ooh, this one looks cute, and this one looks cute, and this one looks cute, and just like scrolling, like that was my entertainment for a couple evenings of just scrolling and looking at patterns.
And I do that from time to time, and that's why my pattern library is like so large. And yet, when I'm in the mood to make something, I still end up looking somewhere else rather than looking in the collection of patterns that I've already saved.
That's funny. Okay, so I threw a few patterns into the Ravelry corner of things that I would like to work on in the relatively near future, and then a couple things that I think just look
Okay,
fun.
so what is the name of this bundle that I'm supposed to be looking for?
So it's not a bundle. Can you look in tags? Can you go by tags in my
Okay, I
thing?
see. I see you tagged 6 things
Okay.
is what I'm showing. So I'm gonna switch the screen back around.
All right. Don't you meow at me.
Okay, so these are the 6 things that you're interested in. I like that the teardrop jewelry necklace.
Let's see, but those aren't the things that I tagged though. I do like that necklace, the necklace and the earrings, and I want to make those soon. But those aren't the yes. Those
I clicked the thing that said Ravelry Corner.
did it not load yet, maybe?
This is
What?
what it has loaded.
Well, that's just my entire list. What was the point?
I don't understand why
I don't
it's
understand either.
because it's still showing all favorites. I'm not trying to see all favorites. I'm trying to see.
Man, I should have made it a bundle.
Yeah, I'm still confused as the difference between bundles and favorites and all that stuff on Ravelry. That still confuses me a bit. But these are the ones that you
Yeah.
saved? Okay.
So those first barefoot sandals, I'm gonna go ahead and bring up the chat again so I can see what's going on over there. But those first barefoot sandals are the dragon scale pattern style ones that I like.
Uh-huh.
And so I want to make those because those I'd be able to make with some worsted weighted yarn, and I think they would look cute, and I think they'd be popular, especially because I'm doing like a fantasy fair coming up soon, so I think
And
those would
those
be
look like they would
popular.
be on the feet of an elf.
Yes, exactly. And then let's see, going back.
The gladiator ones are cute.
Yes, I like those. I don't know how popular they would be because just because of the way they lace up.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I feel about that. And the next two are kind of connected. So if you look at the fourth one, the belly dance anklet, it's a pretty it looks like a pretty simple pattern and but it's got bells on it. So you would put it on your ankle and you'd walk around and everybody would hear you like
Okay.
jiggling
That
around and everything.
that is cute.
Yeah, I like it. And so I was thinking that I could use that same concept with, and I want to make those still too. But if you go back, I was thinking I could use that same concept with the pattern that's right before it in the list. Let's see. Oh, are you showing me on the screen or are you showing the patterns on the screen?
I'm
It looks like
showing
you're
the
just showing me on the
patterns.
screen. I don't see it on the. I'm looking at the live stream and it looks like it's just showing me.
It says that I'm sharing my screen.
You're sharing your screen with me, but the screen for the live stream is also still on me.
I don't know what to say. I am confused.
I'm also confused because I have no idea how you do any of this.
Let me try it again.
Maybe your computer's just giving out. Oh, it looks like we lost Tracy. We're back down to just the two of us.
Okay, well, we don't expect people to really want to listen to us ramble, and we need to be wrapping this up soon because we're almost at an hour, which really
Very
means
true.
hour and 10 minutes because it was 10 minutes before I started my timer. So Yeah, this is cute. I don't know. Do you see the sandal up on the screen now?
Um, I'm still not seeing it. It's still looking like my computer is a little bit behind, but it's still looking like it's just me on the screen. What does yours look like?
Well, I just switched back to the live stream looking thing, and it looks like I'm just looking at you too. But I don't know how far back it is since. Yeah,
Huh.
Tracy's still here. She's just listening.
Oh, maybe my computer's behind.
We're not terribly exciting. Um,
Yeah, especially talking about technical difficulties right now.
seriously.
I
So I
wonder what
don't know.
happened.
I don't know why it's not showing. Okay, yeah, I see right here where it says, yeah, it's still showing. Huh, huh. Okay, see, in my small window, it's
Mhm.
showing that I'm showing the barefoot sandal.
But on the live stream, when you the whatever button that you press to have it show either you or show me or flip back and forth, it's showing that it's showing you.
No, it's showing the sandal where I have Ravelry.
Hmm. I am not sure. Maybe it's just giving out on us. We could skip Ravelry Corner for this week though, and we can like I could always show that stuff next week.
We can figure it out later. So, what do you have that you want to work on this
Ooh, and
week?
let me get out my pencil so I can write this down too. Um.
So you can stick to your goals.
All right. So to work on next week, I think. Mm, I think I want to try to have a few more pairs of barefoot sandals ready because I do have that event coming up. So more pairs of barefoot sandals is what I'm writing down. That's one. Ooh, my pen is running all the way out.
So how many pairs of
Um,
barefoot sandals?
mm, I'll just go with three more pairs because I'm still not sure what I'm going to sell them at. I'm thinking maybe 10 or 15
Uh huh.
since they're like kid size.
Yeah.
Um, let's see, three more pairs of barefoot sandals. I gotta have something on that baby blanket, so I'm just write down baby blanket. I gotta do something with that.
Oh, that's right. You haven't. Have you done anything on that baby blanket? When is it the
No,
birth? When is the birthday party?
I got 2 weeks. I was off last time I told you how long I had, but I've checked my calendar now. I've got 2 weeks.
Okay, you need to get started on that. So that needs to be number one on your list for what you work on this week.
Yeah. Um. So number one, baby blanket. Number two, barefoot sandals. Number three,
I see Nightingale has showed up. Hello, Nightingale.
man, my thing is just so far behind. I'm not getting any of that. Oh, there it is. Oh, hi, Nightingale. Um. Let's see. Number three, I've got a commission. I was commissioned by one of my friends to make her a pair of earrings because she's got gauges, and so she wants something that she can wear through her tunnels. So commission earrings. Oh, I didn't even show you guys those pictures either. We'll just have to look at those next week
Okay.
because I worked on. I finished another commission that I just totally forgot to send you pictures for the show.
So add that to your list so we can work on that next week.
Yep. All right. So baby blanket, barefoot sandals, commission earrings. That's what I got written down.
Good. Okay, so I'm looking at my list from last week, and I had the unraveled mitten square that I was supposed to work on this week, but as we know, I did not work on that. Big
Mm-hmm.
X there. So I'm going to put that on my list for this week because I don't want to be a square behind when she announces the next square.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's unraveled mitten square number 6 because right now I've got all the other ones done. Or is it 7? It must be 7 because I lined up 6 squares to take pictures of on my stool. So I think it's number 7. Okay, so it's square number 7.
Oh, we're
Um,
doing all right today, Nightingale. Sorry, Nightingale said, "How are y'all doing?" We're doing all right. You're catching us at the tail end of the crafty live stream, but once we shut this one down, we will be right back up in about 10, 20 minutes or so.
About 15
Doing,
minutes so that we can take a potty break and grab a snack.
and then we will start
I'll
up
come
the
back before
live stream.
her. I'm gonna come back in a hard 15 minutes. Now whether she comes back is a whole other thing.
I should be good. I don't think I have anything else to do.
Yeah, but you might want to stuff your face or something.
I could just eat on the live stream. I did it before. I've got some cookies over here that I was planning on eating and just didn't.
Anyway, so well no, I definitely have to grab a snack because I'm doing the intermittent fasting, but so I don't want to go because it's already 6:20 and my limit to stop eating is 8 o'clock. So I definitely
Oh
have to.
yeah.
So
All right. So number one, work on the square
number
number
one is
7.
my unraveled mitten square. I haven't even picked the color for that. Um, because I think I want to do it in a variegated yarn again, but you'll see that next week. Last week's second goal was to get another inch on the casual tee. I think I did maybe half an inch.
Oh,
Can't
so
show
you.
it. Can't show it because it's in my suitcase.
hmm
Because I packed it to take to Aunt Terry's because I was going to work on it, but I didn't work on anything while I was at Terry's except painting that bowl. Um, so I will definitely work on that because um, I watch um, World of Dance. So I like to knit on that while I watch World of Dance. So that's
Right.
an easy either that one or this raised waffle square. Those are
Yeah.
two easy ones to work on while I'm watching TV
hmm
because they're not too fidgety. Oh, well, actually, last week when I watched World of Dance, I worked on the AKA scarf. So who knows?
Oh yeah.
And, yeah. So I almost met that goal last week. So um I don't know if I'm gonna put that on for this week though.
Well, if you keep saying every week that you need to do an inch, then you'll be done with that. What, like 6 inches that you have left?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I'd like to be done with it um, by the time your sister comes back for summer break.
Isn't that pretty soon though? Isn't that like
Yeah,
a
that
month
should
and a
be
half?
pretty soon. I'd like to because I want to make sure that I can try it on her and make
Yeah.
any adjustments. So I'd like to have it done when she comes back for summer break, since I won't have her Afghan done by the time she comes back. So I guess I should put work on the casualty on there. Okay, another inch on casualty. Okay, and I guess my third thing will be the AKA scarf because I'd like to get that done because I did actually pay for the pattern, and I'd like to. I that was my third thing last week too, and I excuse me, sorry about that. That was my third thing last week, and I did
hmm
actually work on it as you saw, and I got up to that point where I didn't know how to do the decreases. So I'm gonna actually work on that and get in the flow of that.
Okay.
So I guess those are my three things. Although my unofficial fourth thing is this raised waffle square because I am obsessed with this.
Yeah, it looks
This
like you've been getting some good work done on that one.
yeah, it's addictive. It's addictive
That's how I
because
feel about those scrunchies.
it feels so squishy and it's just a nice feel. I can't wait until it's actually a blanket because it's a nice feel.
hmm
I like a nice squishy. There's another stitch called brioche, and I made your sister a brioche cowl, not one of those big cowls, but you know the kind that kind of hang down that look
hmm
more like a design choice than actually keeping you warm. And I
Yes.
made one for her out of Lion Brand Heartland.
hmm
'Cause I want to make something for everybody. I don't want to leave any of you kids out. I want to make something for everybody. But I finally have admitted to myself after the debacle with that halter top that I made that she finally just decided she didn't want after I put a lot of work into it. That, okay, I really should not make her anything unless she specifically asks for it.
Yeah.
And if she feels left out, then it's on her because I'm not going to volunteer to make her stuff anymore.
Yeah.
If if she asks for it, then I'll make it for her. And the only thing she's asked for is that avatar blanket, so I need to finish that. So so anyway, that wraps up Saturday stitching. We've rambled. We've
We have rambled.
yeah, oh yeah, number one, we have rambled. We showed off our whips. We've showed off projects that were interesting to us, and we've set our goals for what we're going to work on the upcoming week. So, you have any other thoughts before I say bye and we take our little break?
Um, I don't think so. Everybody, just reminding everybody, we will be back in about, if you're watching this live, we'll be back in about 15 minutes. I will try my best to not be the one that's making us late unless there's another wasp in my house. I should have caught the wasp for the dead bee project.
You weirdo.
I
So
didn't
yeah,
even
if
do
you're
that.
watching the live stream, we'll be back for other than stitching in about 15 minutes, which is just us rambling about stuff other than our yarn and craft and art projects. If you're not watching this on the live stream, then you'll see the other than stitching video right posted right after this one because they
Right
both
now,
go
you ain't even wait 15 minutes.
exactly. You don't have to wait 15 minutes because it'll be right up right away because we post them both on the same day. All right. So thanks for hanging with us. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.